Hello, my crafty friends. I sure hope you're having a fabulous day. My name is Robyn Pitts. If you're new to my channel or you're a returning subscriber, welcome. And welcome to the May episode of the Fancy Fold Card Challenge, hosted by Monica, aka Paper Mona on YouTube. Monica has gathered a wonderful group of designers, and each month we create a brand new card design. Monica also has a very active Facebook page where she releases new designs, has lots of inspiration, as well as fun tutorials. I will be sure to include a link to the Facebook page in the description box below. If you're inspired by the fun cards that we make, please feel free to craft along with us, and don't forget to tag your video using FFC Challenge 2023 so that we can see your beautiful cards. For this month, the card challenge is a pop-up gatefold card. Now, I believe the original tutorial was created by Sam from Mixed Up Craft. In today's video, I'm going to show you two card examples that I've made, and then we're going to make the third card together. For each of these projects, I've used Hunkydory paper. For this first example, I have used the Hunkydory Garden Party Topper Collection. Now this card measures 5 by 7 inches, and on the front I have this beautiful belly band. I'm going to adjust the camera so that I can give you a closer look. I love the way this card turned out. For the card base, I have used this brown craft cardstock, and I think that is a perfect complement to these beautiful colors. In the background, I used a lavender pearlescent paper, gold foil, and then the paper collection, which is in this butter yellow paper. On the front here, we have a beautiful topper that has a stamp design, and this has gold foil around it, and then we've got this beautiful butterfly with gold details, and then I've embellished it with these rhinestones and then this beautiful purple bow. This is what the back of the card looks like. Here on the back it says, "Let today take you somewhere beautiful." When I take off the belly band, we have the front of the card, and we've got these two panels here. We've got a bird, and then on the bottom we have this butterfly that says, "Spread your wings and fly." When I pull out the right panel, you can see that we have another set of designs. We have these two birds on the top, and then these beautiful butterflies on the bottom. When I set the card down, you can see all of the beautiful panels. And in the center, we have this beautiful butterfly, and you can see that postage stamps design. In the center, it says, "Love you lots." Isn't this gorgeous? Now, behind this butterfly, I have this beautiful purple paper, and it has script writing. I think that complements this paper so nicely. And as you can see, when it's folded down, it's a gatefold. And then the center portion of it pops out just like so. Let's take a look at my next card. This is my second card, and I used the Hunkydory Peacock Paradise Crafty Stash Pad. Now this includes a variety of toppers, beautiful papers, as well as paper inserts. I love the beautiful color combinations of the lavenders, the blues, and the turquoise. And in the background, we've got the lavender pearlescent paper, the silver paper, and these beautiful hues of blues, turquoise, and lavenders. Let me give you a closer look. On the front of the card, we've got this gorgeous topper with this beautiful peacock. On the bottom, it says, "For a very special friend." I've embellished it with this beautiful light lavender bow and this turquoise gem. This is what the back looks like. I love this peacock paper here. When I take off this belly band, we have the beautiful peacock on the top. On the bottom, it says, "Hoping that your birthday stands out from all the rest, as you're such a special person who deserves the very best." When I open the right panel up, On the top, it says, "It's your special day. Time to leave a little sparkle everywhere you go." And then we've got this beautiful peacock with its beautiful plumes on the bottom. When I open up, in the center, we have this larger peacock topper. Aren't these papers beautiful? I just love the shimmer and the sparkle of the silver foil against the teals, the purples, the pinks, and the greens of this paper collection. Once again, when you fold the panels together, this will fit in a standard 5x7 envelope. And you've got the gatefold closure. Now that I've given you an overview of my 2 cards, I'm going to grab my materials so we can make the 3rd card together. To begin, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock, and for this example, I'm using a heavyweight craft cardstock that measures 7 3/4 by 7. On both pieces, you're going to score at 2.5 inches, 5 and 7 1/4 inches. You're going to turn one of the pieces of paper around so that you have this small tab facing the small tab on the left panel. You want to fold and burnish, so you're going to have a mountain fold here, you're going to have a valley fold here, and then you're going to have a mountain fold here. So your piece should look just like this. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Now what we need to do is attach these 2 pieces of paper. So I'm going to put glue on this tab here, and then I'm going to attach it just like so. So you want to have it butted up right to the score line so that you have this 1/2 inch tab. So let's do that now. Now you should have a piece that looks like this. Once again, you're going to have a mountain, valley. You'll have a mountain. You've got your tab here that we've just glued together, a valley, and the mountain fold. And then when you fold these together, you have your gatefold closure. So now let's start decorating this. For matting layers, you're going to need 4 panels to cover the sides of the gatefold. So you will need 4 pieces. In this case, I'm using this blush pink as my base color, and that measures 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, and the patterned decorative paper is 2 inches by 6 1/2. So I'm going to add a panel here, here, and then 2 panels here. Then I have 2 panels to go in the center, and these are slightly smaller. So this base pink color is 2 inches by 6 3/4, and the decorative paper is 1 3/4 inch by 6 1/2. And these panels will go right here in the center. And then we have this 1/2 inch spine here in the center, and I'm using for my pink cardstock a piece that measures 3/8 of an inch by 6 3/4, and the decorative paper is 1/4 of an inch by 6 1/2, and that is going to go right here in the center. So let's go ahead and glue these panels on, and then we'll move to the next step. Now that I have all of the panels glued on, I want to turn this card over. And for these 2 center areas, I'm going to glue these panels here. Now remember, these pieces here in the center measure 2 and 6 3/4, and the paneled paper is 1 3/4 by 6 1/2. That's going to go right in the center, and then you'll also need a spine that goes in between the 2. So go ahead and glue those down. So the back panels are glued on. Let's turn our card back over. Next, we're going to grab our decorative panels. In this case, I'm using these 2 large panels. In my previous cards, let me show you, I used these smaller panels here. I used 4 panels. These pieces here can be any design that you want. They could be a heart, a circle, a square. Now to attach these panels, you want to look at your piece and you want to find the center point, and that is going to go right in the middle, right over the score marks on the top and bottom here. Okay, so if you look at this, you'll notice that this piece is centered right in between, but you're only going to glue 1/2. So I'm going to put glue on this panel here and then attach it so that it is centered in between these panels, but it's only going to be attached on this left-hand panel. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. Again, I'm only going to put glue on 1/2. Okay, again, I'm going to line this up so that the top is right aligned with the score mark here on the bend. We've got a nice clean edge here. Okay. Now, we have to glue this on the right side. An easy way to do that is to fold the card in, just like so. And we're going to fold this panel on top of this piece right here. And what we want to do is put this panel directly on top, just like so. And then you're only going to glue the right side on this panel. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to put glue on 1/2 of this panel. Okay. We're going to line this up so that you can't see the panel beneath it. And you want to burnish this right side. Okay, so there is our gatefold panel. Okay, now we need to glue in the center panel. And I have this piece here. It says, "Your dreams are closer than you think. All you have to do is believe." And what I'm going to do is put a bead of glue right in the middle of this panel, and I'm going to glue it right to this center panel here so that it is centered on the card. Now we have the center panel glued on. When you fold it up in the center, it pops out just like so. And then when you close your card, you have this beautiful gatefold card. Now that our card is complete, all we have to do is add the belly band and decorate. So I have a piece of cardstock that measures 12 by 2 inches. I'm going to wrap this around the card, and because this is a thicker card, because it's got so many layers, I'm going to keep the belly band fairly loose. I want to make sure that it can easily slide up and down. So you want to find a good space and then add your glue. Actually, let me put a piece of paper underneath this. I'm just going to put this paper here to protect it, just in case any of the glue spills out. So I'm going to put some glue right here. I'm going to line up the pieces. Okay, and make sure you burnish well. Okay, you've got enough room to slide this up and down. And then we have our decorative panel. So this measures 5 inches by 2 inches, which is the pink, and the decorative paper is 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. And so I'm just going to glue the panels here on the front and then on the back. And then I'm going to add a few embellishments, and then I'll be back with the final reveal. Here's my finished card. I love the way this turned out. In the upper left-hand corner, I've used this beautiful mauve seam binding, and I finished it off with this pearl rhinestone button. For the center belly band, I've used this beautiful unicorn that's surrounded by mauve and burgundy and pink roses, and it says, "On your special day." On the back, We've got this beautiful belly band, and then on the bottom it says believe in yourself. When I take off the belly band, on the front of the card here, we've got this beautiful ornate pattern, and then it says birthday wishes. On the right side, it says especially for you. And then in the center, we have this panel that says your dreams are closer than you think. All you have to do is believe. Isn't that lovely? Here's another look at my pop-out gatefold cards. Hopefully I've inspired you with new and creative ideas. If you like this video, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please be sure to check the description box to see the other designers. I know you're going to love the cards that they make. And last but not least, please be sure to join me next month, same time, same place, on the 5th day of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now, and happy crafting.